I'm just hoping somebody tells me that they can't hear the music. I'm just hoping somebody tells me that they can't hear the music, or that they can't hear me. Wrong way. There we go. Oh, hey, what's up, Daniel? I got questions for you. Can you hear me?
Let's go.
Yep, that was one of my questions. Can you hear the music? Oh, okay, so the music's just fine, but I'm probably quiet. Yeah. See if I can not hit the land over there. So I built a display, and it shows me my jib sail angle, it shows me my mainsail angle, and it shows me my rudder angle along with the wind direction. Yeah, it's based off of one of those like a racing sailboat. Inside, I haven't done too much with the electric or with the interior. I have a hammock here. Oh, we're gonna be going in some weird ways. We got the head. We got the VIP bird. Back here we got the engine room. We got pretty big, beefy. It's not really beefy, but it's a pretty decent sized engine. And even though it's super tight, we can get to everything, just like in real life. Sailing is really slow. But we can trim out the sails pretty good. And I'm not sure what the speed is. 24%? 24% of 40. That's not accurate. It goes pretty good. It's kind of cool to see the wind angle on the sails and how fast we go. Whee! Turn the diesel engine on. So this boat's name is Second Wind. Yeah, it's pretty. Well, I mean, I think we get up to 40 knots using the engine. And those keels really work. They will keep you upright. That is, as long as they're in the water. So you want to keep that keel as low as possible. So if you just let the sails go, then it basically puts you perpendicular to the wind. And you can pretty much steer with just a jib. "20 knots? 24 knots?" Oh. Oh, that's the problem. I should probably add some bilge. Alright, how do I want to do this bilge? Do I want it just to always go away? Flush it down the toilet? Hey, Jed. Sailing's pretty good, actually. So this is what it is, in my opinion. They got sails like 80%. Like 85%. They got sails really good. Keels, the keels they got like 50%. Like it's not bad, but well, okay, so maybe 55-60%, right? Like yeah. No, it's well the update. No, that's not the update. I'm just saying the sail portion of the update, right? 85 out of 100. So that's like the sail portions, right? And how the wind affects the sails. Multiplayer, it sucks, but that's multiplayer. I'm not knocking sails for multiplayer, you know? Like ropes and nets and sails are all broken in multiplayer, so it's not the sails' fault, really, right? So, and then the keel portion, so then there's this second piece. Have you played yet, or? There's the bit that goes at the bottom of the ship. It's definitely something to take a look at. I've had friends that were playing and they weren't really looking forward to the update, the sales update. They're like, sales. And then, you know, once the sales came out, they haven't been doing anything else. They've been building all the kind of boat, all the sailboats. Now he's like, why am I wanting to build a pirate ship now? Yes. So yeah, so now he's building like a big galleon pirate ship just out of the blue. I think it's hilarious. He was like, I wasn't looking forward to this update, but it's so good, it's gonna make me cry. And it's, so, the sails, I give 85%, the keel, I give 50%, but the overall update is actually one of the best for Stormworks. They gave you a really decent preset, which I think is even better than the tractor. So they must have had somebody build it for them. But here's the preset sailboat. And it's like, you know, it's got power ports, it's got diesel fuel fill ports. Interior is actually done up. got like a washing machine, and then a head, and then galley. Yeah, you could work. Yeah, you could make a working spinnaker sail. I don't like them, so the one that I have kind of fakes a spinnaker. So basically my jib, if I like yeet it all the way out to the side. Normally jibs don't go out like all the way. But yeah, so you can put the sail anchors on rope anchors and then be able to fly, have a flying jib or a spinnaker. And then I have a mainsail, and then I'm not sure what that front sail's called. But they did the fabric really well, and then they made it flags to give us some flags. Oh, remove the space. Oh, okay. Definitely. Yeah, exactly. Right? They don't even know how to freaking spell. Yeah, so hey, I made a display here that can show your jib angle, which is that front one, and then it shows the mainsail angle, and then it shows the wind direction and the rudder. Sailing's kind of crushing. Oh, this is so nice sail cruising. Dude, you can make it to the Arctic with no fuel. It would take you a couple days, but you would make it there with no fuel. I mean, maybe limited amount of fuel, because when the wind dies down. And it's not limited to sailboats. You could do trains. You could do a sail train. I had a buddy. He made a sail train, and it had a huge sail, but each boom on the sail was on a pivot, right? So it would like fold up and then unfold and then fold up every time he went under. Like he could push a button and it would all fold in. I know, dude. Big old sailing yachts. I've made a couple sail ships. Let's see. So the first thing I did was I whacked it onto a previous boat. Sail train. So this boat I had before, and I was like, okay, I'll just throw some sails on top. Boom. And then this one, I had a wind meter just automatically setting the sail. So it would just put it at the direction I wanted it towards the sail at all times. And then I can use this back one to steer. Hello, Jack. So pretty much the first one I did, I just threw some sails onto a ship that I had built previously. And then I was like, okay, well that's kind of fun to just, deal with the ship. And then I was like, well, how much of a ship do you need? Keels only work one way. Let me tell you that. So, the devs did a really good job on the sails, but they kind of fell short a little bit on the keels. I can totally understand why, but it's because the keels are really, really hard to do. The keel works as a big counterbalance and a wing. And it's very important to realize that this is a wing and a weight, okay? It's 500 mass, so the smallest one is 500 mass. So it's really, really heavy. So you actually have to have a boat about this big. I think it's 26 or 2700 mass. It is definitely a stabilizer, and it's an automatic stabilizer. So it's like a gyro that will keep it upright at all times, as long as it's in the water. And what I mean by that is, as long as the keel is in the water, then Stormworks makes it float upright. But as soon as this keel comes out of the water, the sail knocks your boat over, and it flips upside down, and then the second that it goes back in the water, it like yeets it back upright, and it yeets it so hard that you flip back over to the other side. So it's you kind of got to make a stable sailing vessel. You can't just throw this keel on the bottom of a raft and expect it to work. It gets really sketchy, especially when you use floats. I don't recommend using floats with the keel. It adds... No, so the issue is with Stormworks trying to get it all to work, okay? So, it definitely... It only use one keel if you start using multiple keels, it's gonna get weird if they're not kind of down. You know, like, you could use multiple keels and it's going to stabilize the craft. But if you do multiple keels like this, then it's not gonna know what to do. So what's happening is it's almost like a pivot fighting a pivot on your vehicle. Absolutely. It adds a huge drag force, and that's one of the reasons why it keeps you upright. So if you have a keel, it's going to be harder to push your vehicle using a diesel engine per se. But using the SAILS, it's perfect almost. So this is why it's a little bit janky, because it works. Okay, so it's not stupid if it works, right? If you make a sailboat and you put sails and a keel on it, you're going to sail just fine. That's what I'm trying to say. If you start messing around and you don't make a sailboat, it's gonna be harder to actually make it sail. You know, like if I just slap a bunch of floats down, and I'm just like, I want to make a boat. Yeah, exactly. The epitome of mess around and find out. Yeah, exactly. And then I'm like, keel. It's not really gonna like it. I mean, you can make it work. I'm not saying that this doesn't work, but you have to actually think about what's going on. Yeah, it's gonna be weird because the floats. It just you gotta really think about what you're doing if you're gonna be just slapping parts together. Because it's like, this is super heavy, 500 mass, and then these things are super duper light. So you're gonna have like 10,000 downforce and 10,000 upforce, and so it's like, okay, well, on a normal boat it's going to be like 10 downforce and 5 upforce, or 15 upforce. So the differential's not going to be high. So these are just adding force multipliers, is what maybe a better way to say it. Does the keel have to be exposed? Can you shove it in a box of seawater? I'm not sure. I've always left it exposed because the way that they explained it is that it's like a fin, and it adds a bunch of The center of mass. Center of mass is too far down. I think it works in just the space. Like, I don't think you need to use a fluid spawner. I don't think it needs to be exposed either. Oh yeah, on that vehicle, the center of mass was like in the middle of the keel here. Yeah, I know, Jack, what you're talking about, but so fluids and Stormworks are all basically the same thing. And I sealed the keel in, and it didn't change any of the effects. So I don't think seawater even matters. Like, you can put this inside of your boat, and it would work as long as it was under the water. And that's one of the reasons why I recommend to have the keel as low as you can. Right. Right. Otherwise, it loses its force, and you start flipping around because you're outside of the water and you don't have any control. Well, it's a wing for underwater, right? So I mean, it's a little bit funky, but that's how they had to make it work. Like, it has such a strong counterbalance to push you forwards against the wind, right? So the wind is blowing in a direction, and you have to go forwards. And so to do that, they put a big wing, and it's really, really strong underwater, which makes it work. Okay? Yeah. But the differential between the between, well, the fluids, because the air is a fluid, right? So the differential in the viscosity, I guess, is what the density, right? They're trying to say. And I think it's funky. The thing that I think is funky is when you go upside down and you're sailing. When the sails work underwater, that's when I'm like, that's a little funky. If that could have been made not able to work. Because, like, in real life, as soon as the sail hits the water, it's donezo. Super donezo. Like, just float me. It's really like a parachute that floats on the water. Ask me how I know. I wanted to make like a stand-up sail, like a sailboard, or maybe like a small it's as weak as a wing. Gotcha, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Because under the water, it works as a gyro that automatically stabilizes your boat. Because, like, if I just put 500 mass here and went and started driving with the propeller and I started turning circles, I would be leaning over. I would be like tipped over in my first turn. But then if I take the 500 mass off and put this on, it will never, ever, ever tip over unless it comes out of the water. The second wind. Trying to figure out what I want the colors to be. Anybody know how to get the freaking... This was really messing with me. The pulleys don't go at the same speeds. Length A and length B don't keep up with each other. Like, I can understand rope 2 length going to a set point. Oh, okay, 5 meters. But I had to set the rope speed. So I set the rope speed to 0.5 on the winch, right? And that seems to equal it out. So I end up with 5 meters from point... from rope 2 to the winch ends up being 5 meters. And then rope 1 is the anchor that's going down, and the speed of the pulley is about 0.5 speed on the rope on this. So if I turn this up to like 2 and I attempted the same thing, now I'm gonna get 13 meters, 20 meters, and so it's going to let out this super loop in between length 2 and length 1. So by the time length 1 reaches the seafloor and we stop doing what we're doing, we've let out a total of 84 meters of rope. Or cable in this instance. But so I was messing with the speed of the winch. So I think length 2, in my instance, length 2 has to be greater than the length between it and the winch before it starts moving. That would account for it to take a second for it to come out. So then that will give up the first 4 meters before it start doing any calculations. 4 is not enough. I guess I'll just do 5. I mean, I guess I could do 6 and it'll just kind of keep it. So it'll let the winch down as long as it's not too long. Yeah, so a little over 4.5 because it's a little far down. It's a little down from the connector. Okay, so then we'll change the speed. So last time it let out like 80 something meters of cable. But now it should keep it at 6 meters. And then it'll let up the slack to 4.5. Perfect. Large and huge. And let's just double check. 10, 40, 150, 600. Yeah, exactly. The train sheds. I've been blown around inside those things. So now it doesn't matter what the speed of the winch is. I mean, I think it does because a little bit. Like it's gonna go a bit over because it's so fast. Actually, it didn't. It's a bit under though, so the speed does kind of matter. Yeah, exactly. So the keels are wings that keep you upright using like a gyroscopic effect. And then the sails push on the masts at the connectors, and you get like the differential. Oh, nice. Ooh, that engine. I need more coffee. Oh, we're past the gate. Oh, pirate ships are already being made. I have a pirate ship already. I'm going to be making a bigger one. What? Sucking it back. We definitely don't have enough fuel. Yeah. So the other day, a customer came in and has a leak in his forward auxiliary fuel tank, which holds 1,300 liters. And I was tasked with pumping out 1,300 liters out onto the dock. We brought in this big, like, water container, is what it looked like, but we filled it with diesel. It was like a big plastic tote that had aluminum, like, grid or aluminum rail. Skeletal aluminum, like, plastic jug. Yeah, it was a pain in the butt. The pump we were using kept cavitating, so it was taking forever. The guy inside was like, he would push the hose down into the tank and it would get caught in a baffle and go up and then catch air, which would then cavitate the pump and just, like, all of the hose coming out of the boat, because it was in the master bedroom under the bed. Yeah, under the master bed was the fuel tank. So we had to pull the bed up, put down a bunch of, like, protection, and then out one of the port windows. Yeah, it was the port window. No, a starboard window. But it was like this little porthole starboard window. And then we, like, to prime the pump, we had to put the pump inside the boat and have, like, a 5-gallon bucket sitting outside. It's a spicy mission. What I need to do is get the accurate speed sensor. See if I can make it under this bridge. Mint, huh? One of the issues with sailboats is electricity, man. Because you have to have all the pivots and the linear tracks to kind of, you know, wenches. Windows 10's never gonna die. Not as long as I'm alive. So they're stopping support for it. Yeah, okay. You know how many programs I could run in Windows 95 still? Like Windows XP. Still a viable solution in some places. I just can't risk a virus. Okay. So, what, Windows Defender isn't gonna work anymore? Yeah, so okay. I do have other... I don't know. Like, I just don't care about the version of what I'm using. Like, my phone is Android 1.0. I don't care. Can't watch videos? Okay, damn, I have to go to version 2, right? So, version 2 can watch videos? Okay, perfect. I guess I'm just not, I don't have that sensitive of information, you know? Like, if you really want my photos of some dude's bilge, go for it. I've already posted them on Discord. Okay, so that was pretty easy. So now I'm gonna try to tack around and go back under the bridge. And I think we only have 20% wind right now. we stalled out. I need to get farther away. Why? It's almost directly upwind. You have 4 knots! Upwind! Ish. It's kind of hard. We're going backwards now. And that's why we have trade winds. Oh no. Well, that happened. I'll be right back, guys. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be ending it, guys. We're gonna raid a friend. That didn't work. Oh, that sucked.